What's up, guys? My name is Michael Goffrin, and I'm a software engineer at Instagram. So I want to talk a little bit about how I got into Instagram and how you can work for a tech company. So when I was interviewing, so I guess I should back up a little bit to my prior experience. I got a bachelor degree in computer science, and after I had a bachelor's degree in computer science, I actually worked for a startup for a little bit. It was like only 3 months, so it wasn't super long. And then after that, I didn't have a job. I was looking for work, and I just moved out to San Francisco, so my rent was super expensive. Um, so what I did was I called up people that I'd already known in the Bay Area, and I asked them for referrals. Um, and I applied to a lot of places. Like every day, I was applying to like 10 places. That was like what I was roughly aiming for. So after 10 days, I had applied to like 100 places or gotten referrals from people for places. And what happened was one of my friends actually referred me to Facebook. So Instagram is a subsidiary of Facebook. So after that, I got in contact with a recruiter, and the recruiter reached out with a phone screen interview. And I thought this is a really good opportunity for me because it's like a phone screen for starting work for getting onto an on-site at Facebook. So I prepped a lot for that. Basically reading a lot of um, cracking the coding interview, doing a lot of leak code problems, and I was interviewing for a lot of companies in the San Francisco Bay Area. So a lot of those companies' interview processes were actually kind of practice for me to start working at Facebook, which was really cool. And I think that's honestly a really good way to do it is to, just I was genuinely interviewing for a lot of companies, but when you're interview for a lot, so that way you get the practice. After my phone screen, it's like a 45 minutes with just me on the phone with a CoderPad link, and I was asked to do two algorithm problems. I felt a little uneasy about it. I thought I did okay. I wasn't sure was going to pass, but I got the email from the recruiter, and they said that I passed the phone screen, so I moved on to the on-site. And what I'll remember is at the on-site, basically, I had 3 interviews. One interview was sort of algorithm focused. It was like algorithm with career questions. So like he would give me a bunch of career questions, sort of what I was doing prior, what my expectations were at Facebook, what things I like to work on, what does my career arc look like, and then he gave me like a sample algorithm problem, and then we went over that. Interview 2, I had a guy. He basically just had a sheet of different algorithm problems, which is interesting because I'd never seen that while I was working at Facebook. It's just like 20, 30 problems or something, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna start giving you some of these problems." So he gave me like 2 problems, and I solved them super easily. And then I got a third problem, and then I solved that one pretty easily too. I think that we generally go for like 2 problems, so I think he wasn't expecting me to solve them as quickly. And then I had one last interview. This was my last interview for the day, and it was also like algorithm focused. So there was like 2 algorithm questions. I think the first one I did pretty well on. The second one I had a little bit of trouble with. And then my interviewer actually walked me out. And I remember we went to the micro kitchen. And at the micro kitchen, it's like a place where you have a bunch of snacks and food and drink options. And I love the dried mangoes. So I remember going for it and grabbing like 2 or 3 dried mango packs. And I was asking her like, "Oh, how many can I take?" And she said, "Oh, just take a reasonable amount." And then I grabbed like 7 or 8 mangoes. And then I was like, "Oh, is this a reasonable amount?" And she was like, "I'm gonna pretend like I don't know you." So that was really cool because it kind of showed me off a little bit of my personality, and also showed my interviewer was like a human as opposed to someone who was super critical. And then later, just a couple days later, I remember I got a email from the recruiter, and she said that I got an offer. So that was pretty much it. Once I did that, I then negotiated a little bit, and then I used my Facebook offer to negotiate with some companies, and ultimately it looked like Facebook was going to be the best place to work, so I ended up going to Facebook. And during Facebook's like initiation process, we have something where you decide what team you want to join, and at the time I was super interested in Instagram, so I actually ended up working for one of these teams during this initiation process, and was ultimately able to get onto a team at Instagram, where I've been working for the last 2.5 years. So that was a little bit about my journey. It's pretty much just standard interviewing, getting started with a lot of programming questions, getting used to that, and then working on interviewing with many different companies after I'd gotten a solid foundation in programming questions, and getting into Facebook and getting my way onto an Instagram team. So hope you guys enjoy the video, like and subscribe.